The honourable member for Deakin.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is addressed to the Minister for Immigration and Multicultural Affairs and Reconciliation, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Affairs. Minister, the insidious industry of people smuggling is a growing worldwide problem. Minister, would you inform the House what international measures Australia is taking to send a strong signal to people smugglers that we will not condone their actions? Do people smugglers portray events in Australia in a way which suits their purposes?
Minister for Immigration and Multicultural Affairs. I'm sure the Minister is aware of the obligations he has under the standing orders not to anticipate debate on legislation.
Mr Speaker, let me just say in relation to the issues that the honourable member has raised, that it is important that we send a very clear signal to those people who are involved in trafficking lawful entrance to Australia. And the fact is that they are criminals. They're trading in human beings.
Member for Chifley. Minister has the call.
And it is important to send a very clear red light to those who are involved in that activity. It's important that our message is clear and unambiguous. Let me make that very clear. It is important that it be unambiguous. And I say that because what we know is that the people smugglers are very conscientiously following debates here. When there was a single judge decision, in relation to the Tampa, it was portrayed as a green light to them and the people that they were seeking to traffic to Australia. We have implemented a range of measures. I tabled a paper yesterday, Mr Speaker, which outlined fully the way in which the government is working with other countries to minimise the outflows from other areas in which people might leave. We've been organising to assist the UNHCR very strongly in bringing together countries, hopefully as early as October, certainly not as late as next year or the year after, to focus on some of the problems that are being faced in areas like Afghanistan. We are working with countries en route to disrupt the smugglers' operations and to intercept their clients while they might be travelling towards Australia. And it's important to see those efforts that we've been taking internationally with the domestic matters about which we will be debating at another time. But it is important, Mr Speaker, that the message that we send is not ambiguous. And part of the problem is that ambiguity does arise for a number of reasons. They arise when people see legislation that might deal with particular issues. They see it opposed, even when they see it later supported. And well, let me make it very clear: we welcome the belated support from Labor to a bipartisan approach
come to order. The
on
Minister
this
has
matter.
The call.
But
the Minister has the call. Member for Jagga.
But at the moment, what is being said
will
is
not tolerate interruption.
It is being supported because we think it is now weaker, that's the message. Can we,
Minister. Manager of Opposition Business.
Absolute lie.
I refer to you to the standing order.
Absolute lie.
The standing order concerning anticipation of debate. This is classically the debate which is being undertaken by members on this side of the House during the course of the debate which is currently underway, in the debate around the legislation that's before us, about which one of their backbenchers couldn't even go for 2 minutes.
The Manager of Opposition Business is not making a point of order.
Yes.
The Manager of Opposition Business in his latter remarks bore no relevance to the point of order. The Minister understands the obligation he has not to anticipate debate. I was listening closely to his answer. I concede that I thought he was sailing closer to the wind than would normally be tolerated, but he had not, in my view, anticipated debate, or I would have interrupted him. Minister.
Mr Speaker, thank you. Can I just go on and say that there have been mixed messages in relation to this matter, and it comes from the approach that was taken in relation to judicial review, not a matter that's being debated in this House. It is not being debated in this House. And in relation...
Minister, manage your opposition business. The minister has the call.
And the fact is, in relation to the measures that we introduced 3 years ago, there has been continuous opposition to those measures, but at this point, when it becomes important, they say we are now prepared to look at the judicial review bill with amendments. Now, we'll debate that issue in another place because the amendments, of course, would again undermine the purpose of that legislation. But what I am most concerned about are some comments that were made today in the Financial Review. And the Financial Review quotes one senior Labor frontbencher on this issue as saying people had got to the point where they were cheesed off with being wedged. And we will fix that when we are in government. Now, what does that mean?
Minister for Trade,
what does that mean?
The minister has the call.
What it means is there will never be a difference of view on immigration issues. No, what it means is we'll fix that when we are in government. What the Labor Party has to make very clear is that it doesn't mean what I read it to mean, and that is that they intend, if they were in government, to undermine the messages and the measures that we have put in place. That's what they're seeking to say. Just wait, just wait, just wait. When we get into government, we'll be unwinding these measures. That's the message that's involved in what's being said when you go out briefing the press in that way.